there, I'm Eric Lefebvre, and welcome to another episode of The Fresh Faces, a show that spotlights the up-and-coming stars of tomorrow's San Francisco. Today we have on our show a man who wears many hats, a sucker for the classics, a social rabble-rouser, and one who does not shy away from even the most terrible puns. Lead singer and guitarist of the Classless Chaps, Mr. Dan Hoffheins. Welcome to the show, Dan.
Hi, thanks, Eric.
How's it going?
Thanks for having me on. Things are going very, very well.
Fantastic.
Very excited.
Hot lights, it feels great.
It does feel good.
Perfect. So starting off,
Face feels fresh.
Face feels fresh.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we want here at the Fresh Faces.
Mm-hmm.
So you're in a band called the Classless Chaps.
I am indeed.
Now you guys play a lot of covers that sort of stem from country 60s-esque Merle Haggard, Dolly Parton, Waylon Jennings type stuff.
Yeah, we sure do. Sort of the idea behind the band was to, just play songs, whether by mainstream artists or less visible artists, of their overlooked gems, usually sort of like the deep cuts, things that get sort of just forgotten about, or, people nowadays probably don't know those artists as well as, my generation did. Yeah. Growing up in the 80s when these guys were still playing and kicking around. And nowadays, most people on our set list are probably dead,
Yeah.
So we're trying to bring their music back to the public. We chose a bunch of songs on the set list that sort of range the whole spectrum of country, going back to Jimmie Rodgers, the father of country, and the singing brakeman from the 20s and 30s, moving up to the 50s and hillbilly and rockabilly, and then getting into that sweet period, the sort of golden age of the 60s, where you had people like Willie Nelson and Dolly Parton and Waylon Jennings making their name. Yeah. And then you had a lot of great big plush country recordings. And then you get back to the 70s, back to the sort of raw roots and the honky tonk. And then it kind of goes off the rails in the 80s for a while. And then we have some artists that came out in the 90s, sort of alt country artists who are still performing today, and then a few new names from the last decade. Okay. So the idea was to sort of give everybody a nice taste of what country has to offer.
Now within that, do you guys do your own spin on it, or is it simply a bass cover?
We definitely do our own spin on it sometimes. Usually the spin that we provide is shoddy playing, missed chords, late solos, off-key singing, ending on the wrong notes, and just general confusion. But when we're not doing that, we will do things like we'll play the Misfits, like in the country style. Cool. Like Astro Zombies makes a really good country song. Yeah. Yeah. So like both forms, punk and country, are very pliable in that way. Totally. You can go back and forth.
So now with that, you guys aren't really prevalent on any social media, on the web.
No.
Does that lack of existence there sort of add to the allure of the Classless Chaps?
It certainly does. We're kind of like renegades. We're kind of like the Residents, just these sort of avant-garde misfits and pranksters. Yeah. A little bit. And one of the reasons why we're not so much is that there's already a band called the Classless Chaps. Yeah. We found out recently, so we may have to sort of change names or make them change their name.
Yeah, so with that, what would you say to that band?
I'd say we're less classy, and we'll always be two-step ahead of you at any point.
Again, terrible puns, guys. Terrible puns.
As advertised.
As advertised. But awesome. So now, at a Classless Chaps show, we get the feel for what the music is like. What would the experience, as far as the crowd and the atmosphere, consist of?
Aside from drunken bemusement, a lot of times, like we'll play sort of roadhouses and bars where people have no idea we're actually going to be playing there. Okay. So, sort of the number one reaction we want to get, aside from complete adoration, is just recognition of the quality of the songs that we're playing, whether they actually know them or not. They'll actually be entertained by them, because the whole idea behind the band is sort of like just the love of songcraft that actually goes into these songs, and so. There's something for everybody, usually. And so typically when we're playing, I'll look out in the audience and see someone grooving to it, or I'll see someone else just sort of like mildly surprised, and I'll sort of like, cater our performance towards that person and try to get them on board as well. So we definitely work the crowd a lot. Nice. So yeah, we're not one of those indifferent bands, these sort of like hipsters wearing cowboy hats. Yeah. It's like, it's whatever, it's alt country.
Alt country. Awesome. So any future recordings, tours, anything you'd like to plug, so to speak?
Well, the thing that we're definitely plugging right now is we're playing at the Fireside in Alameda. Cool. And that's a great venue, and it's our local pub, so that's kind of home for us. Fantastic. So yeah, it'll be on May Day, May 1st. We'll have a pagan pole in the middle of the stage, and we'll use it as a wash tub base maybe. we'll figure something out for that. But yeah.
Well, that about wraps it up for us. Again, be sure to check out the Classless Chaps at the Fireside in Alameda on May 1st. Thank you, Dan, for coming and chatting with us. Be sure to check out For more information, visit the Facebook. What?
I said thank you, Mr. Lefebvre.
Thank you very much. For more information, visit the Facebook, the Classless Chaps. I'm Eric Lefebvre. This has been the Fresh Faces. Thank you for tuning in.